happy 666 Portal Day. It is Monday, June 6th, 2022. And I did not pull, this is Ocean. I did not do a video yesterday. We spent some time as a family and with some of my kids' friends, and it was nice. It was really nice. For someone who's an empath, though, I have to say, so we went to the city, dropped the kids off to go to Canada's Wonderland, and we went to, just kind of kept busy. We went to the mall, did a little bit of walking, as much as my husband could, and anyway, it's just when you're an empath and highly sensitive person, actually I'm going to keep that close because it's still burning off, you can be really affected by the energies and just being around a lot of people. So what I should have done when we came home last night is I should have saged us all, I should have balanced us all. Anyway, our energy is just exhausted today, which is okay. It is okay. I'm not used to being in the city and around that many people, although I have to say the area that we were, like, it's not like we were like right downtown by CN Tower or anything like that, but yeah, it's a lot of people, a lot of energy, and I'm sure you can see by my eyes I am tired, but it's not exhausted, like it's just a tiredness. So let's pull some cards for the energy portal today. So we've got Work Your Light, Moonology Manifestation, and the Starseed Oracle is now calling to me as well. So let's see what that has to say as well. That's why it's still burning. So I can cleanse the cards. And all this does is cleanses the energy from the cards. Another way that you can do it is knocking 3 times. So yes, now it's starting to go out, so that's all good. Okay, so let's see what the Work Your Light deck has to say. Oh, and the diffuser blend today is Adaptive, which is the oil of adaptability, and Air X, which is the oil of discerning. Both super important, especially at this time again, and especially with the 666 portal. So what message? Nice. So that's Work Your Light. Okay, this one's, so the one that came up is Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, and Helpers in the Subtle Realms. So essentially what that means, that's coming up for me, is it's okay to ask for help and literally just expressing help. I need help with whatever. It could be something simple, it could be something big. We all have angels around us, whether you want to believe that or not. And as I'm talking about this, I'm feeling so tingly. They want to help us. And the more we lean into ourselves, okay, 2 came out of there. Oh yes, and here's the next one. The more we lean in and say, please help, I surrender, please help, our angels and spirit team will walk in and they will begin to support us because they want to help us. So the next one that came up from the Starseed Oracle is Lifting the Veil. Questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. So if you're thinking of anything in your life and it makes you feel tense, it makes you feel gross and sticky and just bleh, how can you shift that? How can you shift it? So for example, if it's a person, is there perhaps an exchange, or was there a moment, or was there something that happened that is fueling that feeling in you? It could even be from years ago that you aren't actually even remembering consciously, that every time you're around that person, something is just feeling not right at all. One thing I heard on the weekend is, and I do not remember who it was I was listening to, but essentially it was, if you're feeling something, call it out rather than make excuses or just push it aside, because the more we push things down, it becomes a volcano, and it will eventually, who knows when, it will eventually come up to the surface and erupt. So to stay in the flow, we want to keep this feeling of peace and balance. Like, trying to describe what I'm seeing is one of a level with two things on each side where you can check the weight and see which one's heavier. Yes, our life is going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. We want to aim to achieve balance. So if there's someone unaligned in your life, maybe it needs called out. Maybe it's a fact of, so I said in a video a few days ago that I was feeling super triggered by something that happened almost 20 years ago. But I was feeling so triggered that it literally, every time I thought of it, it was bringing tears, literally. And I got thinking on the weekend, okay, so there wouldn't be anything bad in me saying, yes, I understand what you're going through. If I was asked, I understand what you're going through. Unfortunately, I'm feeling super triggered based on XYZ, which happened whenever. I'm not at a point right now where I can properly respond. There's nothing wrong with saying that at all. And whoever it was I was listening to this weekend, as soon as she said it, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. So much sense. You're not making excuses. You're not pointing fingers. You're not placing blame. You're just stating a fact. Stating a fact. I am feeling extremely triggered because of this. You're speaking your truth. So the other one that came up, forge, don't follow. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. And then numerology manifestation. Great message for this portal, the 666 portal. June 6th, 2022. And that's how you get the 66, because it's June 6th and then it's 2022. So you go 222. I love numbers. I love numbers. I love the energy behind them, the meanings. It's just, angels like to speak in number sequences as well. So if you're looking for confirmation, for me, it's numbers. And the funny thing is, this one, for my husband, he is also, oh, good one. He's also picking up on this as well. So reflect on your priorities. So right in alignment, 100%, especially for this portal, which is last quarter moon in Aquarius, 126. Drawing this card suggests it's time to be more grounded and work out what really matters to you. Once you're clear about your priorities, you can start to allot time, energy, and focus to them. If you want to create something solid, it takes a mix of good ideas and practical work. The most important thing to work out now is what's really important to you and whether you're living your life in accordance with that. If not, this card is a nudge to make changes so you can achieve what you want. So your manifestation affirmation, I don't need anything, but some things I want. And I love that this came up, because yesterday when we dropped our kids off at Wonderland, we didn't go in because we knew my husband cannot walk the park. There's absolutely no way. So we went and looked at a few stores just to kind of get inspiration for a few things that we still have to finish at home. And it's interesting because when we walked out of two of the stores, my husband looked at me and said, "We are doing so good. There is so much that we saw and we were like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. You know, we could use that here. We could use that there." And it was like, we don't need to get it today. It helped that we had no room, but we don't need to get it today. It was more like feeding our inspiration to then come home and be like, okay, so we have this, we have that. This is what we need to finish. Would this work here? And one of the things that we were looking at that we did almost buy, we found something better. And that's sometimes how it works out. And the something better is local. And I love supporting local. So it's a win-win, honestly. It's a win-win. Okay, so are these the Starseed Oracle? All right, so let's go to Work Your Light, which is Council of Light. They love helping us. Where are you? There you go, 94. Council of Light. Divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. The Council of Light is a team of benevolent beings who are here to assist the raising of consciousness of the planet. They are here to help you achieve your soul mission and are guiding you in every step of the way. However, because we live in a world where free will reigns, they cannot help you without your permission. So remember when I was saying about that before? If you're feeling lost, if you're feeling like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, get into a silent meditation, get into a guided meditation, even 5 minutes. Honestly, even 5 minutes. And ask for help. Ask for guidance. And you will get messages. You 100% will. If you would like their assistance, it's time to ask them. They can help with all kinds of requests, nothing too big or small. Think of them as your personal team of helpers in the spirit realm. They're willing and ready to step in and get to work. What would you like help with? What tasks would you delegate to them? The Council of Light is a team of ascended masters, light beings, angels, and guides devoted to the rising of Earth and all of humanity. If you are a light worker, it is from them that you receive your personal mission. Like a spirit world, United Nations. We're going to skip it. I'm not talking about anything government. They want to thank you so much for doing this work and devoting your life to uplifting the planet. Pray to them for clarity and guidance regarding your personal mission. Put in your requests and let them get to work. So put your hand on your heart. Council of Light, I am ready to receive your help for fulfilling my personal dharmic mission. Thank you for guiding me with clarity every step of the way and for sending me helpers and experiences that delight my mind, body, and soul. So one thing I read in one of my books yesterday, pretty sure it was The Compounding Effect, which is an incredible book. And one of the things that was mentioned was that sometimes some people, you don't realize why is this person in my life? They're bringing negativity wherever they come, and I just don't feel good after talking to these people. Why are they even in my life? They're here to teach you something. They're here to teach you something. Yes, it can be triggering for some people to say everything happens for a reason. Why? There's so many things that have happened that I'm like, why? What the fuck is the actual reason why this has happened? What do I need to learn? That is the question you need to ask. That is exactly the question. It's not trying to figure out why something happened. It's trying to figure out what you're supposed to learn from it. So anytime I say everything happens for a reason, the reason is you're supposed to learn something. I'm not saying it's supposed to be good. I'm not saying it's supposed to be bad. I'm not saying be indifferent with that. Okay? There's something you need to learn. And this is a huge, 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 huge thing that my husband and I have learned from his accident and from his multiple surgeries. It's something that neither one of us was paying attention to prior to that closely. So it's really important. You could have someone really shitty in your life right now. Don't necessarily think of, why are they doing this to me? Try and shift that, okay? It'll be so much better for your mental health. So much better. So shift it to, what am I meant to learn from this? What can come of this? Because we can't change anyone. We can't control anyone. The only person we have control over is ourselves. The only person we can change is ourselves. We don't even have control over our kids. Yes, we birth them, we raise them. The moms birth them. Doesn't mean you have complete control or complete say over what your children do. So that's a great, 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 great message. Okay, so the Starseed Oracle, we're lifting the veil. Yes, the veil keeps lifting more and more every single day. There's so much more truths coming out. There's a lot. There's a lot of people finding the value in honoring themselves too, which is really awesome. So lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. Things aren't always as they seem. This era is one of uncovering mistruths so that we can remember ancient truths. Yeah. Okay. So one example is, so I don't watch the news. I rarely watch the news. Even after the Ontario election, my husband and I woke up the next morning and it was like, oh, I wonder what happened. So I open a browser and it's like, okay, PC's won again. Hopefully there's some change coming. But so we can remember ancient truths. So I think back to our first house. And when we were looking at it, and my great aunt lives across the street, still from the house. And she used to tell stories about the people who lived there before, like many years ago, and the massive garden that they had. And at that time, everyone had gardens. Everyone. Because that's where a lot of the food came. Right? Think of how life has changed just in my life. So just in 40 years, think of how life has changed in 40 years. Do we need all of these modern conveniences? Yes, the internet is great. Super convenient. Great. Do we need fast food? Yes, it's convenient. But why is that convenient? So that people can just rush off to the next big thing? And I say that because anything unaligned. So food. As you begin raising up your frequency, there will be foods that your body will be like, fuck no, we aren't having this anymore. And you could have had it for years and years and years. I experienced this in 2019 and 2020. So lifting the veil. What isn't congruent in your life? How are you being called back? Being called to bring it back into harmony. Very important. And then forge, don't follow is 68. Right there. I mean, it just makes sense, right? Forge, don't follow. Forge your own path, right? Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. This is one thing that, quite honestly, I've been thinking about. In the past, I've had some amazing coaches, and nothing against any of them at all. Some, or mentors, some, obviously, don't do what I do. They do something differently. And sometimes some of these workshops are more aligned to people that do solely like online, which I shouldn't say it like that, but online stuff. And I was quite honestly finding I was beginning to question myself that I wasn't doing things right. I wasn't doing this, I wasn't doing that, and they were doing this and they were doing that. And it's like, everyone has a different life, and not everything can be done from a point of, most work days have 8.5, 9 hours in a day, right? And a lot of, I'm just going to say, a lot of coaches do say, you don't have to work that long. You can get this done and you can get, whatever done in shorter time period. But that doesn't always work. And I found I was focusing on that in a very, very, very big way. Whereas when you do service work, the time it takes to do the job is the time it takes to do the job. So it's not something that you can say, okay, so it's supposed to take 6 hours. I don't want to work that 6 hours. I only want to do 3. I'm going to do it in less time. It's not always like that. So it's really important. Forge, don't follow. It's really, really, really important. Don't get into a comparison mindset. If someone is saying to you, you should do it this way or you should do it that way, make sure you're in complete alignment. And there we go, lifting a veil, anything unaligned must go. You want to be in complete alignment, because everyone's job isn't the same. And our workloads are different, right? And one thing I've found is there's certain things I can do in a space by myself much, much, much better than within an office setting. And that's cool, because I am more efficient. But when it comes to scheduling and that, if I was to tell customers, I only schedule 5 hours a day, anything beyond that, we can't do. It's not realistic, right? So just be careful when you are trying to figure out things that you're doing it from an aligned position for yourself and what you do, and not just what someone's telling you to do, because that can create an incongruent right there for sure. So how are you being called to forge rather than follow? How can you be the leader you wish you had? So one thing, for example, for me that I was kind of falling into was when I was doing Beachbody. And it was, they get up at this time, they do this, and they do this. And I was thinking, I can't get up in the morning. First of all, my body is just, right now, it just doesn't work to work out in the morning. And that's fine. That's fine. Because I know it works for my body. I know it works for my schedule. And don't get into that comparison. Don't get into that. I had to step back in a very big way, because a lot of, they weren't necessarily mentors. I don't want to call them mentors, but people who I admired their lifestyle. It may not be realistic for everyone's lifestyle. And it may not even be the truth of what they're sharing either. So you want to be in alignment with you 100%. 100%. And that's where you'll find the true success. A little long today, but that's okay. It's the 666 portal. Have an awesome, awesome day. Much love.